Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. If you are new here, today is going to be a day in the life on maternity leave and my first day alone with our brand new baby boy, Owen. So Owen is our first child. My husband, Jim, is back to work this week, and I am alone with the baby for the first time, so I wanted to film it, show you kind of what the routine is looking like, and just kind of document my first moments alone and share hopefully a little bit of motivation, like usual, getting stuff done around the house. So this morning, Jim woke up and was getting ready for work. We fed Owen one last time and actually put him down for one more round of sleep. And with him sleeping one more time, it was still pretty early. So I went ahead and got out of bed, was feeling rested enough to do that and get a few things done while he was still sleeping and get myself put together a little bit. So I made my coffee and went to clean out some bottle parts and pump parts and all of that stuff. And you'll see I checked on little baby Owen and he was still asleep in there and zonked out. He was sleeping in our bassinet in our bedroom, so I can hear him if he makes any noise. All of the rooms upstairs are very close to each other. All the doors are open. So if he stirs, I can hear him. But with him still sleeping, I'm going to leave the bedroom and go to our guest bedroom and fold some of the towels and sheets that I had washed from my parents staying with us for the first week, basically, after Owen was born, which was really nice. My mom offered to wash all the sheets and towels for me, but I told her not to worry about it and that I could take care of it. So I did wash them, but didn't quite get them all folded and stuff and everything put back on the bed. So I needed to take care of that this morning. And while he was napping, it was a perfect time to do that. If you've followed me for a while before we moved to Nebraska and we lived in Denver in our apartment, this is basically the setup that I had in our apartment. We still don't have nightstands in here. We did buy a new dresser for this room, but the bed and the picture above the bed was kind of the setup I had in my apartment. So this is now the guest room, and it's kind of maybe nostalgic for you guys, but nostalgic for me to see this whole setup because I don't go in this room very often. But it makes me think of a lot of memories because this was the bed that I got when I started law school and moved into my first apartment. And then when I started my first job, moved to a different apartment with it. And then when Jim and I were married, it was our bed when we lived in that apartment in Denver together.
There's some stains on your photo, little cracks on your rusty frame, stuck in the mud, but it's okay.
We also gave Owen a bath last night, and it is the second bath we've given him. So we're kind of figuring it out. The first one we did it in his bathroom. The second one, we put the baby bathtub in the bottom of our tub, and I kind of got in there with him, and it was a heck of a lot easier. So I think we're kind of figuring out what works for us. And I really liked being able to sit kind of in the warm water in the actual tub while he was in his little baby bathtub and doing it that way. So I needed to clean that up. And then I'm also heading downstairs and picking up the mess from the night before. I've kind of been living on our couch since he was born. We have all the things that we need on both floors. So while I'm downstairs in the main living room area, I have been surrounding myself with all of the baby gear and all of the baby things. So it does get a little bit messy during the day. I needed to do a quick restock of some diapers and fill the diaper caddy downstairs. And then I'm going to take the rest of the diapers upstairs and refill that as well.
Where pretty demons never show, shifting shapes in millennia.
Before I do that, I wanted to make a quick smoothie. That's what I was going to have for breakfast this morning. And the smoothie that I've been making that I've really been enjoying, and it's super easy, I use any mixed fruit blend, whether it's berries or tropical. I add in half of a banana, a couple scoops of yogurt. I really like adding flavored yogurt, but I also sometimes do just plain Greek yogurt. I add some water, chia seeds, flax seeds, and blend it up, and that's it. So that strawberry yogurt that I had was actually expiring, and I shared this on my Instagram stories, but I froze some of it in my super cubes and plan to use it for future smoothies. Freezing yogurt does change the texture of it, but if I'm going to use it for smoothies, it blends up just fine, and it's a great way to save that yogurt so it doesn't go bad. And it will actually help with the texture of my smoothies. So today was the last day before that yogurt expired. And expired yogurt is one of those things I don't mess around with. Any dairy products past their expiration date, I don't know. I don't even want to test it. So I froze the last little bit of it, stuck my super cubes in the freezer, and grabbed my smoothie and was ready to head back upstairs. You can see Owen was wiggling and ready to get up for the morning, so I took him out of his swaddle, turned the sound machine off, and got back in bed with him so I could give him some breakfast. After he was done eating, it's time for a diaper change and an outfit change, and I put him in this cute little avocado outfit. We found that our favorite outfits and our favorite little onesies are from Old Navy. They have the two-way zippers. We are anti-button at this point. Any of the outfits that are buttons instead of zippers are more effort than they're worth. Although a lot of the outfits that we have that have buttons are some of the super, super cute ones. But most of the time we're just hanging around the house and I want to do whatever is easiest for diaper changes and outfit changes and all of that. So having the two-way zipper is really nice. And the other thing is the onesies from Old Navy are pretty inexpensive, which is great. I'm also definitely getting my mom strength by doing everything around the house one-handed. Making the bed one-handed is more difficult than it used to be, but I'm considering it part of my workout for the day. Before we head downstairs and I plop down on the couch for a bit and hang out with Owen, watch some morning news. It was, again, still quite early, and he has some cradle cap going on a little bit, so I was putting on some ointment on his head and rubbing it in while I continued to have my smoothie and watch the news.
I will get to you 'cause you make it easy. You make it all so easy now. I will find a place for us. I will show you where to go.
So Jim and I did take the Taking Care of Babies sleep course, if you've ever heard of that. And she talks about wake windows and talks about how newborn babies, so like less than a month old, have very short wake windows. They are awake from like 35 to 60 minutes, and then it's probably time for them to have a nap again. So we hadn't been awake that long, but he already needed a diaper change again. And we've been using these little doggy bags from Amazon and sticking them in our kitchen trash when we have diaper changes downstairs. I don't really think it's something we're going to continue. It doesn't seem like it's actually necessary, but I changed his diaper, stuck it in that little doggy bag so it doesn't smell up our kitchen, and got him back in his swaddle, rocked him a little bit, and he just fell asleep in my arms. So I put him into the pack and play that we have downstairs for kind of a safe sleeping environment down there. You'll see we have a baby monitor there so I can continue doing stuff if I need to step out of the room and be able to watch him. But with him down for kind of the first nap of the day, I was able to sit down, and I like to be close to him for the beginning of his nap just to make sure that he's fully asleep, because that seems to be the time that he stirs the most and needs some attention. So I sat down and wanted to work on finishing up my bump book that was documenting my pregnancy. There was a section on labor and delivery at the end of it, so I needed to fill that out. And the baby book also discusses some things before baby as well as labor and delivery in the first couple of weeks. So I wanted to get that stuff started while it's all still fresh in my mind. In the Q&A video that I did, I said during this maternity leave video, I would discuss a little bit more of Owen's birth story and how labor and delivery went. And I will say I was so pleasantly surprised with how it all worked out. I ended up actually having to be induced, and I had a scheduled induction at 7 a.m. and didn't sleep the whole night before because I think I was mostly excited, not super nervous. But I got a phone call at 5 in the morning saying there were no beds at the hospital and we would have to wait a few hours and they would give us a call when we should head in. So they told us to get breakfast. Jim and I went out for a nice breakfast and decided to take our time and wait for their phone call. And even though I called multiple times throughout the day to check in, we didn't receive a phone call until almost 10 o'clock at night. I had just crawled into bed, kind of given up on going into the hospital that day. And the second I crawled into bed, of course, my phone rang and they said, "We have a bed, head on over. We will see you soon." So I was induced probably 10:30 or so at night, started contractions that night. They were painful, but not horrible. The next morning, they were definitely getting worse as I was progressing more and they were getting closer together. But even though I knew I wanted an epidural, I held off as long as possible just to make sure I was progressing on my own before getting that epidural. I've heard so many stories about moms that don't progress or their babies go into distress after they have an epidural, especially with an induction when their body isn't maybe necessarily quote unquote ready to go into labor, and ended up with a C-section. And I really preferred having a vaginal birth. So that was probably my biggest fear. But everything turned out as well as I possibly could have asked for it. I did end up getting the epidural, and after that, I couldn't even feel when I was having contractions. They would ask me, "Did you feel that?" And I would say, "Nope." And we did deal with Owen going into distress a little bit, his heart rate dropping when I would change positions. And at one point, they had to completely turn the Pitocin off and just kind of let him recover and take a moment. And when they put it back on at a very, very low level, I was able to reach 10 centimeters. And after I hit 10 centimeters, my doctor was there. I started pushing and only had to push for about 25 minutes, which I was very happy about. And 25 minutes of pushing, and our baby boy Owen was born. So Jim's doing his best to check on us and head back from the office and have lunch at the house so he can help hold Owen for a little bit and just kind of make sure that we're both doing okay, which is really sweet of him. So I made a quick salad for us to have for lunch and got that ready for him to come home, as well as putting away the dishes. I feel like in general, things are going as well as they probably can postpartum and right after giving birth. It was super helpful to have my parents stay with us. But even in this first day of being home with Owen alone, I feel like I'm getting into a little bit of a routine. And part of that routine is just letting go of the fact that when Owen's awake, we are just hanging out, snuggling, cuddling, feeding him, changing his diaper, that type of stuff. And I'm not worried at all about things getting done around the house. When he's napping, I haven't really been taking naps as he naps. That's just not really my thing. But I think I need to start maybe doing that a little bit more just to make sure I'm getting enough sleep and not constantly running on adrenaline, because it is still the first couple of weeks here. So it's hard to say if what I'm doing is sustainable.
Letting you go, 'cause every song just reminds me of you, and it breaks my heart. You're still here, though we're apart. I'm seeing your face in my dreams. I can't escape you. Like a movie on repeat, the scenes just go on. I'm hearing your voice in my dreams. I wanna escape you. I really think I made a big mistake. I want you to know I can't stand the thought of losing you. Tell me, do you think of me too?
I've also been finding myself extremely hungry the first thing I wake up, sometimes in the middle of the night, and I'm sure a lot of that is from breastfeeding. So I do keep snacks on hand in our little rolling 3-tiered cart that we have in the bedroom for all of the different supplies that we need for baby Owen in our room. I just keep that there at the bottom, and then I needed to restock some things and refold our blankets and just kind of tidy it up in general.
Tell me it's over now. Don't tell me it's over now. Don't tell me it's over. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you, and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you, and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you, and it breaks my heart. You're still here, though we're apart. A bottle of wine will get me every time. A phone call away, and you're ready to be mine. We twist the truth to justify, but baby, two wrongs doesn't make it right. I'll be yours till the morning light. Right here in the moment, we're breathing life. Both of us lost in this ugly life. Right here, all that matters is you and I.
I also kind of had a mess on top of the dresser, a couple of items of clothing that came out of the washer that I didn't fold, so I needed to take a second to fold those and put them away.
For the joy of making up, we both escape, trying to feel safe.
And as I was finishing that up, I could hear on the baby monitor that Owen was waking up. So I was going to head back downstairs, get him out of his swaddle, and cuddle up with him back on the couch a little bit to kind of finish out the afternoon and hang out with him downstairs while I got a little bit of work done. I was actually working on reviewing my ebook that I have available on my website for the sophisticated declutter that I'm doing It's like a 6-month decluttering challenge that we're doing at the beginning of the year. So if you haven't followed me and you haven't started the challenge yet, you can definitely still join in. But Owen fell back asleep in my arms while I was getting some work done, and we waited for Jim to come back home.
Let's save this night. Let's save this night. Let's save this night.
I hope you guys liked today's video. It was kind of fun just filming exactly what I was doing today and sharing a little bit about becoming a new mom, about Owen being born, and what maternity leave is looking like so far. I'm sure I will probably get a little bit more of a routine down as maternity leave continues. I do have 12 weeks off of work as an attorney. So again, I will probably get a little bit more of a routine, but so far this is what day 1 looks like. So if you liked today's video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, and until next time, I will see you guys later.